right, we should be live. What's up, Leo? How's it going, man? Leo lesson. Leo lesson number one. Uh, Super stoked for this, dude. So I think that we've got some people in chat already, some people hanging out. Hello, welcome, folks. So we are going to be doing a lesson, a first lesson. For full transparency, this is my fourth first lesson at the moment. So, this is going to be fun. This is the first time I've done like many lessons on the other side of the table, like receiving lessons on YouTube. And this is the first one that I'm streaming and recording at all. So I'm super extra stoked about that. And yeah, Leo, like you've started joining the streams as of like 2 months ago or so. And I feel you're really the one that kicked off Carcassi fever as an idea. Like you didn't coin it. I think Jay coined that term, but you really like picked up this piece and everything. Like it's amazing. Yeah.
Like I can try Carcassi, and you were like, well, how's the beret?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I took that as a sign to go and practice it in secret, and then yeah, here we are a month later with Carcassi fever.
Carcassi fever, man. Yeah, like I've been really impressed by the videos. Tons of progress. Do you want to just jump into it, or do you have any specific questions to start out with, or
Well,
how are you thinking on this? Because
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I have a bunch of questions. I think part of why I'm so excited to touch base with you is like, I've been getting all this peer feedback, which is amazing. So I'm trying to incorporate a lot of stuff, but I'm fairly new to the like more rigorous kind of specific classical technique and practice.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of questions that I feel like are kind of slotted into the like sort of beginner questions, like, hey, is my posture right? Like, what should the feelings in X extremities be? But I also would love to look at Carcassi 7 with you, because it just feels like we got to do that.
Have to.
So
Yeah, just absolutely have to. Yeah, I think it sounds great to just like jump into it if you're ready to play it, and then that can give us like a good launching point for further discussion. Yeah. I'll just like really observe and think about form and other types of comments to make.
Cool.
But yeah.
Nice.
Take it
so
away.
I'll play Carcassi 7 for you. I do have like just a quick question or two
Sure.
about the perform, like how I'll perform it, which is that we talked about this before, where technically the second section repeats, right?
Yeah.
And I'd happily do that, but also I don't know why this is, but every performance that I look up of it, no one repeats it.
Really?
Even people who seem to be like more serious classical players. And I was like, I wasn't sure why that was. So I don't know if you think I should repeat the second section or not.
I think generally in a lesson, it's pretty common to skip the repeats just for sake of time, even. So I'd say, I don't know. I've seen a variety of performances, and some of them do repeat, some of them don't. I agree.
Okay.
But in a lesson, it's often pretty common to skip the repeat just for sake of time.
We'll skip it. And then the other thing I told myself I'd ask you this is like, should I be playing this for you in this context, or for classical teachers in general, like only as fast as I think I could nail it perfectly, or should I be playing it as fast as I'm like usually kind of playing it, and sort of adding in some rubato, I think is the term, or just what's your recommendation there as far as the speed or the like
good question
performance of it?
Yeah, really good question. I mean, I'd say typically, like when you are going to perform in general, like on stage, like perform for others, perform for your teacher, we all have a tendency to go like a little bit faster than we've practiced even.
Yeah.
But like even thinking of that, like there's extra nerves in that type of setting, or like if it's live or other ways. So I'd say just in whatever way you feel is going to present the piece in its best light, in the best
Okay.
way to for us to work on it. Like if you start making mistakes, feel free to pause, slow down a lot, and play
Okay.
it. You can play it super slow. You can play it with rubato or without rubato.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really kind of up to you.
Heard.
Like over time, you want to be able to jump into a like full performance,
Yeah.
but for a first time, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'd say
I'll.
err a little bit on the slower side, and yeah, that would be my general bias all the time, like always
Okay.
err on slow.
Yeah.
Like when in
I've been
doubt,
trying
like
to get better at that.
yeah,
Okay. Cool. I'll jump into it.
cool.
Is the audio level okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Strum a
Louder?
full chord though. It could go a little louder if. Okay, I think you have original sound on, so that sounds good. Your video quality is like a little grainy. I don't know if there's like any kind of setting you can think of that might cause that, or if it's like I don't think it's on my end.
Really
but-
quick. How about this?
That's way better. Yeah,
Okay,
like
nice.
infinitely better. Okay, cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. All right, great.
All right.
Let's do it.
Carcassi 7.
Bravo, man. Dude, sounding
Thanks.
really good.
Oh,
Yeah, just so much improvement over the last month or so. Like, it's super cool to see. And yeah, that one much better. I hope it's okay to say than the live stream the other day.
totally.
You're nailing it now. Like, it sounds really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I can feel how much, like, less affected by the nerves the playing was than the previous time, but I can still also feel how it's still so much more affected than, like, when I'm just playing by myself. It's just
Completely.
crazy, like, the level impact. Anyway,
yeah, it is a lot. So okay, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. Any questions or any self reflections? Any thoughts of like how did that go? Things that I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the section that I usually nail the most is the one that I kind of messed up the most here. The section where it's like,
the beat.
I love that part, but
yeah.
You know what I think it is that like the more nervous I am, the more the like delicate nature of the finger movement suffers. So I feel like my right hand, the technique in my right hand, I'm newer to it, and so it falls apart way faster. And so like
Completely.
with the nervousness and also just with like anything that's not my absolute comfort zone, you know, at like 10 p.m. in the bathroom or something, the right hand starts to, even if I manage to keep it feeling somewhat relaxed, it's like then I'm not hitting the notes as accurately, or I start to have to like tense to try to hit the notes right, you know?
Right. Yeah, I feel you. So yeah, when you notice that, that's kind of a sign that maybe you're working at the edge of, you know, maybe where like your comfort level is or something. And I'd say in that part, I don't know if there's anything like really specific that I like. First, your technique broadly looks pretty good to me. Like I wanna say that in particular, I remember your first videos that you were posting. Like I saw a lot more of. Yeah, there was kind of like the arm was kind of over there. Yeah, and the wrist was kind of like turned like quite a bit, and like going that direction over time.
Right.
So I watched for that during this performance, and it's looking so much more relaxed. It looks really great.
That's the number one thing I've been trying to work on the last like week or two since that video, basically. And you guys are all like, "Look out for that wrist."
Yeah. I've been watching it myself, but I go the other direction. I tighten this direction, and it's like my number one thing I'm like really working on. So yeah, I feel you.
Do you have any tips for how to
I mean, it's like it's really practice slow, like, and check in on your body and feel. So like one thing, like McKenna says both, like in capital letters. Yes, we're both online now. So hold a fist with your hand and then stick out your thumb. Now put the thumb on the fourth string. And now just drop your fingers from there. All right. So right here, like your hand should feel pretty relaxed. Like this is in some sense like your ideal hand position. And every now and then just doing that kind of exercise, like a lot of tension, thumb on the string, fingers drop, and then arm comes down as well. This is like the shape of the hand that you should be looking for and like trying to feel. So what I would say is like practice something and like pause at times and just completely freeze and pause and try to feel like have, you know, and when you pause in a certain moment, check in, like how is the wrist? Like does it feel the same way as like the tightened wrist and lots of tension kind of mode? And so can I challenge you, can you try playing any part? It could be that part or it could be the opening, any part that you feel you build the most tension in. Can you try playing any part of this like at half tempo? Like
The most tension definitely is the part at the end.
the part at the
So I
end.
could play that part. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I struggle the most. Like, when and you want it at half tempo.
Yeah,
Should I use a metronome?
That'd be great. Yeah, if you want to. So let's
What do you think? 40 maybe, or
let's see. Yeah, let me pull one up. Where were you before? Like
probably 60.
Yeah, I'm
5.
getting like 56, I think.
56. Okay.
So try putting your metronome at 56. And now
Okay.
instead of 4 notes per click, you're going to be doing 2 notes per click.
Okay. So
Do you ever practice this way, like 2 notes instead of 4, like half tempo basically?
I think it's. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, John. I like
Not a lot of metronome.
3 days ago.
Uh-huh.
I started using the metronome.
Hell yeah, 3 days ago you
So,
started. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I definitely quickly was like trying to
great.
find. I think what happened was I was doing it with some arpeggios, and then I was like, wait, like, am I even playing this at the right speed? And then I like went either double time or then I went half time, and I was like, I don't really even know, but I found the one that felt most appropriate, and then I just rolled with that. I think I probably found it by ear, but yeah, I'm rhythm like intuitively makes some sense to me, and I think we could quickly get there as far as like the eighth note and the quarter note and how it feels or sounds, but like conceptually understanding it is not my strong suit. So
I feel you. All right. Well, first, just try playing it. Turn on the metronome and try playing it at full tempo, like the speed that you're doing, just to check that that's the right tempo.
Yeah,
I think it is.
So we're here.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
So that's full tempo.
Now try it half tempo. So it's gonna be, like.
Yeah.
Right.
So. No, wait. Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah,
Okay.
let's stop there. So, all right, how did that feel compared to the other way?
It felt. I mean, it felt slower. And it's like I can feel like my brain intuitively likes like, okay, yeah, this is full tempo. That feels like half the tempo. I can like feel half as many notes fitting in between each click. So pretty quickly, it's like, okay, cool. What kind of note that is, I'm not sure I could tell you right now, but
Doesn't exactly
it felt
matter. Yeah.
interesting in that, I don't know, it's like I notice all these little like it's like a quarter of the moments I'm like, I know exactly what I'm about to do. Like I feel confident that like my fingers know what they want to do, and then for 75% of the moments there's like a split second where I'm like, which finger did I want to use here, or like which one's even best, or like what's the angle of my arm, or is my thumb on the right so like too often am I just kind of grasping to get it right still, even when it's really slow. But
so if there's any single takeaway, like any single lesson to take away from this, it's like practicing slow, like at half tempo like this, is such a valuable tool for that reason. So like you've developed a lot of really great muscle memory and like coordination, and it just happens, and maybe it's happening 80 or 90% of the time or something. But then like when you're practicing super slow, it breaks all of your muscle memory. And it's like you have to think again about like, wait, which finger is it that I'm using? Like which finger do I use here in which moment? There's so much more like deliberate coordination of just like individual little micro movements, like if in martial arts or something, you know, like all
This is like a classic crux for me, which is that I really excel with like muscle memory, like baking stuff in, like doing scales over and over, you know, but like the conceptual planning, deciding what finger I want to use type stuff, it's just not my strong suit.
I feel you. Yeah. So for a very brief little jab at tab, that's one of the reasons to think about over time trying to switch over to notation. Like, one of the things about notation is that it gives you a lot more space to write in like your fingerings. Like, what finger do I use in this moment? Like, I guess you could do that with tap, but I just haven't seen it before. And then there's just a lot of numbers all over in a certain way. With notation, it does give you a space to say, like, I'm going to use the thumb in this spot, the index finger in this spot, the second finger, the fourth finger. That's like one of the reasons that I think standard notation is a bit better for classical guitar. But
I'm interested in starting to read ASAP. If you have some stuff to discuss that with today, I'd love to. You know, I'm a very busy person, so it's hard for me to like, come up with the plan to teach myself kind of like a low-key new language, let alone to do it. But I am interested. I would start doing little bits of that as soon as tomorrow, you know?
Right.
So,
I gave you the PDF of the like public domain version of the sheet music, as well as my fingerings as well. So I would say this is a great one to just get started with. Like, you know the piece, you know the fingerings, like now it would be seeing them, you know, in this different shape somewhat, but you've already memorized the thing, so you can like
that's
start
the thing
to
I was gonna say too, is
over.
like I almost don't even like reading tabs that much, and usually more so what I'm doing is just like using the tabs to memorize it. And then once I have it memorized, it's like boom. There is one fingering actually that I noticed that you do on Carcassi 7 that's different from what I do. Okay. And I wanted to ask you about it. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I do later. Let's come back to this thing, but
we can come back.
Sure.
My only question is for this part. Here.
Okay.
You go to your thumb.
Yeah, I do.
On the B string. And I'm using
the fingers for the whole thing.
These two.
Okay.
Not the whole thing, just the B. And then on the G, I go to the thumb.
Just freeze. Completely freeze.
Ooh,
right.
Look at that.
Wrist is... I've noticed it, like, earlier when you're doing this thing. Like, that's where your tension goes, just by the way. Like, your wrist does kind of go that way.
I end up here.
Yeah. Which is fine. Just wanted to, like, spot a moment of it. Let's see. So...
Just those four.
Yeah, so I see you're doing, like... The one that I don't like is that you get, like, a spread of I, M, on that A, like when it's the A and E.
I switched to my thumb.
Oh, you switched to your thumb on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see like a major reason not to. I think that the first version I was using had marked the thumb on that, and I just got used to using it that way.
Sure.
I don't see it being like a major problem. Let's see. So on that one, you switch to thumb and then come down. All right. Yeah. I think it works. The advantage of the thumb. One other thing about the sheet music, if I can just like really bring it up, something that's very different about like classical guitar as opposed to jazz or rock guitar and whatnot, is that we have so much more polyphony, and so there's multiple voices playing at the same time. And so in that moment, like around here or so is the measure that we're talking about. You can really see that that descending line has like descending staffs, like the line is descending. So that really emphasizes that it is the bass voice. Like it is the bass that is descending. It's not like a melody thing. And so when you use the thumb, using the thumb will bring out the bass in general. Like, and so you're gonna get like a more accentuated bassy, like you're gonna be able to hear it more as a bass line, I think. Which is interesting. I've never really thought of it deliberately because like that's pretty high for the bass line, I guess. But it is like this melody that's descending. Yeah. Like I think it's going to be easier to like bring it out a little bit more compared to the other voice. But you could do that with the index finger too, like if you have really good control of the two. But in the rest of the piece, like the index and middle you kind of want to be lighter than the thumb, I think.
Yeah.
So how are we on time? We're at 8:30.
Yeah, that's plenty on that. We can get back to your...
Well, so on arpeggios in general, like on this, I just wanted to kind of mention that there are a lot of arpeggio patterns in this piece. Like this piece is phenomenally cool as an etude for practicing arpeggio technique because it's got the tremolo pattern, like thumb A M I P A M I. It has thumb index ring index P I A I. It's got a lot of those. So it's got thumb index ring index, and then it also has thumb index middle index. You play that way, right? As well.
Yeah.
Like ring on this first one, and then.
Yeah, it's almost like switching back and forth between I M and I A like rapidly throughout the. That was something that was an early challenge for me. And I realized like it was almost a moment where I was like, it would be nice to have the fingering notation because instead I memorized it, and then I had to figure out like which fingers, kind of would make sense where.
Right.
But yeah.
So this piece really has a combination of all of the like bread and butter, like most important, most valuable arpeggio patterns to practice. A lot of other pieces will just be one of these right-hand patterns for the whole piece. Like one that I want to send a PDF to you for is Snowflight, which I don't know if you've seen me. I don't remember how it goes. I can't remember it right now, but it's one that's just P-I-M, 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 P-I-M through the whole piece. And it's much simpler than this one because you're not shifting between all these different patterns. So in this moment, you even do get a P-I-M-A arpeggio right there. And then you've got index middle alternation in this part. So this etude has a lot going on in it, and it's a great etude to be drilling your arpeggios. I would say that the thing to watch out for, or like what's going to help you bring this to higher levels and know what to practice when you're practicing slow, is to think about coordination in the arpeggio. So okay, sorry about that. I'll move
Teacher
her in
Luna,
yeah, okay.
assistant teacher.
As a teacher, I'm gonna have to figure this out a little bit different.
She's our assistant teacher.
Yeah. She's adorable, but I'm teaching.
Hard to see the guitar.
Yeah. So I think that like the PIMI is probably one of the first arpeggios that I would teach somebody. Really, the first one that would be good to learn would just be PIM, but I don't think we have that pattern exactly in this one. But we do have a lot of PIMIs in various places, like oops. That's the first place I think it comes up. This B, G sharp, D after right in the second measure. Oh wait, no. And actually this is a really good line to look at it on. Like the third measure has I think that PIMI is, in some sense, a simpler arpeggio pattern to learn before the tremolo or PIMA. So if we look at that and we just do it one note literally at the time, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can practice this two different ways, and it's extremely valuable to do it both ways. One is that after you play each, and you just freeze and relax and drop all tension in your hand in the moment, like let your thumb or your index finger relax and come back to its kind of resting position. The other way is to do what is called like an exchange of the fingers. So like when you play one, then the other exchanges with it. So in the exchange, we're going to do thumb, and the thumb stays activated until the index finger plays. And then the index finger just kind of chills out. You know, it plays, it's activated, but it stays in the swing space of the hand. And then when the middle finger plays is when the index finger exchanges with the middle finger. So they like are coordinated together, the motions. And then, so it would thumb, index, middle, index, actually. That's what I mean. So in this moment,
interesting.
The fingers are in the hand, and then the thumb, when the thumb plays, both of the fingers come out. So let's do that like really slowly, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Can you?
Let's try it. So we're doing. Or wait, what's the chord shape?
It could be this
anything?
one. I was thinking of that line, but
yeah. Okay, that's the one I was thinking. Okay, so it's.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh my, that's so hard.
It's a lot, yeah.
But I see the point though. It's like I figured out how to coordinate my fingers just in the way that allows me to play Carcassi 7 fast. But I didn't gain like real like flexible control over the coordination in my fingers. It's like I only have the kind of one map routed.
But it's working for you, and like I don't see a ton of tension building. I mean, there's like some, but it looks pretty good, and this level of I guess awareness of arpeggio technique, not everybody develops it, I guess, but it is super valuable, like as you want to push the tempo on arpeggios and practice them like very carefully and deliberately. Yeah. So that looks good.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Nice. Let's do one other thing.
Okay.
Let's simplify it just a little bit, and let's just do it with open strings in the top 3 strings. Then we don't have to worry about the left hand as much. Okay. And let's instead of doing PIMI, let's just do what I would recommend learning first, which would be PIM. So
okay.
I'm going to move this cat out of this room right now. So
okay, I'll get started.
Yeah. So just thumb, index, middle on the top 3 strings, G, B, E. Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. When one finger plays, it's kind of hard for me to see unless you can like rotate maybe at all, like the like your chair. If I could see, it's not so much the zoom as like, yeah, if you could rotate that way, that'd be awesome. Cool. Yeah, if you could zoom out, I'm very curious what kind of camera you use and whatnot. But so like when one finger plays, is the next finger preparing? Have you heard anything about that before?
Well, Javesh commented, do finger planting for C7 on one of the shorts. And so I looked up finger planting.
Yeah.
And I think I started to sort of like unconsciously incorporate it into Carcassi 7. So like I feel that happening sometimes. But again, it's like, it's not something I'm doing consciously or that I feel like I have a lot of conscious control over. It's more so just like if I'm playing something that I like and that I've practiced a lot, then maybe my fingers start to do it. Yeah. But, you know.
So planting is another name for it, and it's a great term. That's, I think, what my first teacher called it also. Like, it's like when one finger plays, I've heard it like the next finger kind of like magnetically snaps. And, you know, like when all the fingers are relaxed, the thumb comes down, the thumb plays, and the index finger is just almost reflexively preparing, like on the next string. And then when the index finger plays, the middle finger almost reflexively comes down. As much as possible, like focusing on this really micro motion. Like over time, you should be looking for it to almost be like sympathetic motion. Like, so try that. Try the thumb, index, middle on those strings.
So they shouldn't all be planted before the arpeggio. It's like they're kind of planting in succession.
Yeah, in succession.
Oh, okay. That actually feels kind of good. Because if I can hook it onto the thing that my finger already knows how to do, which is like play the string, then I'm almost like my brain is just attaching the plant to that same thing. So it's like I play and my finger plants.
Yeah.
And then I play, the next one plants.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm too high. So it's like
uh-huh. Cool. Cool. So let's pause.
That feels good.
Yeah. So one thing, try to allow, like when you play, especially the middle finger, allow the other fingers to move with the middle finger. So
okay.
first let's just practice this motion of thumb. Put all the fingers on 4, 3, 2, and 1, the strings, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Put them all on there. Play the thumb, then play the fingers. And when the fingers play, the thumb snaps down, and then we get this exchange happening.
I have I'm gonna do it, but I do have a question because I feel it now while we're doing this, and I think one of the things that gets in the way of that for me is I feel like when I rest my forearm on the guitar, that it's like pushing into my my muscle kind of. I don't know. It's kind of strange, and I'm never sure if it feels like I'm resting my arm too heavily on the guitar or something. But like I feel it right now when I'm doing that, where I'm like, I have to like hover my arm off the guitar almost a little bit. It feels like, to not interfere with the muscle. Like doing this, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts there?
Yeah, it shouldn't, like if you're like gripping into the guitar and like holding it almost with the arm, that's definitely too much. It should feel like your arm is kind of there and not supporting the guitar too much. Like you might be clenching in too much with the arm.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Okay. Yeah.
So watch out for that. Yeah.
Okay. So we're
I mean, does it feel different if you drop, like let go of the arm, put the thumb down, and then place the arm down, and then try this?
I mean, sometimes what I'll end up doing is like I'll hover my arm all the way off. Not that I really want to have to do that, but even just now, just you saying that, where I'm like, okay, I sort of loosened my forearm's grip on the guitar. It already, it feels much better. It's like, it doesn't feel like the muscle is being pushed into by the guitar, basically.
Okay.
And so, and it makes this feel better too already, too.
Yeah. Cool. All right, that's looking definitely better. Yeah. So now let's go back to this. What you were doing before, your pinky was really locking up while doing that. So this time, try to observe the pinky and allow it to move with the middle. We're gonna move the middle ring and pinky all together, like as a unit, like thumb, index, and then the others. Thumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something I wondered about, because like when I was doing my ring in the past, I would like keep my pinky out here, kinda. So I want it to go with it there. Okay.
Yeah. Try to let it move with the ring finger.
So it's.
Yeah. And don't release the fingers until the thumb plays. Yeah, the thumb.
All the fingers. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
So it's
thumb, index. Yeah. Thumb releases them. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that's looking better for sure. Like a lot better. And now
it even sounds better.
I think so. Yeah. I think I can hear that too. Yeah. So like this is one way to practice arpeggios, and you can practice Carcassi 7 this way, like without the chord necessarily. Like you can simplify some of the chords that might be PIMI. You can simplify it down to just a PIM and practice it that way. Like it's a tip that took me a while to really like adopt into my practice, but practicing with like right hand alone is super, super helpful and super valuable. So like some of the places where this happens is right. You can try practicing just that right hand pattern. I like to often just like mute the strings with my left hand and feel them that way.
Oh, dude, it's already totally different. I think that was one of the things that I really struggled with the most was in the fast arpeggios, still having my hand do like this properly. Because I just was defaulting to like not pulling it in all the way, you know? And even with my ring finger, I would just pluck it and like the rest would stay instead of doing this like actual full collapse of the finger into the palm, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I think I get it. Yeah. Right.
Like just doing this, like what we just practiced with the arpeggio, instead of staying kind of out here.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you
know,
like versus being here.
Right. The more you promote this, and like, it's gonna feel better because I think you know that we want to really be emphasizing motion from the large knuckle and minimizing the motion that's happening like from the middle knuckles. And like just doing that simple exchange exercise like this is super helpful for doing it. For getting that that baked in. Yeah. And then you can practice this little moment. Yeah.
And so I want to be planting though, because it feels a lot easier to do that with just like fingers free flying, you know, not actively play.
Really? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I think over time, planting is just going to feel more and more second nature. Like, you just aren't really thinking about it as much. Like, if you practice it, like, slowly and coordinated.
I feel like the way that I was doing the planting and that I want to start doing it right now was, like, planting all of my fingers for the arpeggio. Like, at the same time, you know?
Got it. Yeah. So that's called a full plant. And, like, if all the fingers are down on the arpeggio, so it's rare that you do like a full plant other than at the very beginning of an arpeggio. Like here you wouldn't full plant because it would like break the sound. Generally, like planting has a danger of making things really staccato and breaking the sound, but for practice purposes, it is useful. So when doing an arpeggio, there is sequential planting, like what we've been talking about a lot, like each finger individually prepares the next. But then there's also block planting. And it's not a full plant where all the fingers are down at the same time, but it's still the thumb plants the fingers in this case, like the thumb plants I and A. I plays, A plays, I plays, thumb, and then so both of these fingers come down as a block.
Okay.
So that's like a different way to practice. There's also individual releases where they're not staying in the hand in any way. There's like, sorry.
Luna.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, there are all these different ways, and this is like fairly advanced things to like ease into over time, and I'm knowledge dumping a lot of stuff all at once. But this is a great piece to to be learning all of this with, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I appreciate all the knowledge, because I do feel like, I don't know, I raced out a little bit from the start, and now I'm like, okay, I gotta, go back to filling in all the stuff that actually will make me able to perform that, or to play it consistently well. And here's a question for you. I know we're probably approaching the end of our block, right?
I could go a little over if you want to.
Okay.
But,
yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
A couple of my questions are about, like, so you've given me quite a few exercises, and I'm super excited to, like, I'm about to have a little, like, 5 to 10 minute jazz, 5 to 15 minute classical, like, just exercise, warm up, like, working on this stuff as part of my practice routine. But I'm also just, like, super busy, and, like, there's a million different musical things I'm interested in. And so I guess I'm kind of curious, is there any foundational stuff that you would say, like, this is the number one thing that if you only can do one, do this one every day? Or do you have any general tips about, like, remaining consistent and or like practicing the not boring, but like doing the slower stuff, like actually doing it, I don't know.
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, I think that the short answer is scales and arpeggios. Like, scales and arpeggios are like the two basic building blocks that all technique in guitar is. Like, everything in guitar is scales and arpeggios. And so you're getting a lot of really awesome arpeggio technique in this piece. In some sense, you're even getting some scale technique in the in your favorite part. At least this part where you're using probably index middle on the first string. So scale technique is typically like 2 fingers alternating and playing a scale. Like here we have this like slur scale. And so like if you had the time, like no matter how much time you have, like if it's just 5 or 10 minutes a day, I would say like try to play a scale for a little bit and arpeggio for a bit. Like I know that some days you go ham with Carcassi 7 and you go for like a full hour or something. I see the Mujo logs and they're great sometimes. But like this is such a good piece for arpeggio technique, especially. I'd say if we do further lessons, like the next one should probably be more focused on scales. But this one, what I'd suggest would be like with limited time, like think of just one of these arpeggio passages and just focus on like one phrase. Like it might just be maybe end there or something. Just focus on just like on one right hand finger pattern. Practice it in various combinations, like how it's written, the actual music, like I did, with dynamics, without dynamics, but then without the left hand, this kind of method that we were talking about with like muted strings, but definitely also slow and coordinated as well. So it would be so much more helpful to just focus on one pattern per day in a variety of ways, as opposed to like many patterns all at once.
So what metronome speed would you give me for the arpeggios or for Carcassi 7? Because that's the other thing for me is like I always sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to play it slow. And then I play like half of it a little slow, and then I end up just like ripping through as many takes as I can for like 45 minutes, and I'm like, I didn't play it slow.
Yeah. So I think that you played at full tempo at 56 earlier, right? I would say, I don't know, like, I think that making, like, maybe splitting the difference might be like a good place to start. I challenge you because like it does sound good. I don't want to like invalidate in any way like what you've done. It sounds really good. You're like super accomplished. I'm like genuinely very impressed by how far you've gotten with this. But if you want to keep going, there's more things to add in, like dynamics. Like certainly would be another thing to start thinking about, or just reading it on like sheet music in addition to tab. So I'd say like try it at that half tempo, even like 56, 2 notes per click.
Okay.
And inch your way up. Like increase the metronome as you go. Work in like little sections, and just I think that you're gonna get something amazing out of this piece if you like inch your way up on it a bit.
Thanks.
Like there's some more like details to talk about in the future, but
Totally.
the main thing I think to take away is like try practicing right hand only. Try practicing coordinated, like fingers exchanging with one another. And
huge.
Always practice slow, I guess. Cool.
I mean, dude, I feel like there's so many. It's so fun because I do feel like, I kind of like blindly found my way toward like a glimpse of a lot of these concepts through Carcassi 7, and I freaking love Carcassi 7, and I do kind of see it as like I'm probably gonna just like work Carcassi 7 for the next year, and also like fill in the pyramid underneath with a bunch of exercises and probably some easier stuff, and also like concerning hobbits. Shout out to Luke, because that
I think he's in the chat.
I was like, dude,
too.
I have to shout out Luke, because that's what I want to learn for sure too. But I'm with you where it's like you gave me the specifics for like 5 to 10 concepts that I could feel myself sort of dancing around, and now I'm like, okay, we went through it together, the stuff, especially with like how it should feel in the hand, the pinky going with these, that's huge, because I've just been wondering about that. This stuff with the forearm, I want to make sure I remember, and then just practicing with the metronome and doing it slow, and working one phrase, that's really good. I'm gonna write that down too, because
that's a big one, I'd say. And if you want to continue, I'd say like get a method book and like start working through a method book as well. My teacher highly recommends the Duncan method, and that's what I've started using with a couple of other students. It's really great, and it would be a good place to start easing in with reading from sheet music and just learn theory with the staff and everything. I think you're going to pick it up fast because you have so much musical background like outside of classical guitar. So you can work through that pretty quickly, I think, or at least the beginning parts of it are going to be pretty simple. But that's just going to build up your confidence, like reading sheet music. Was there anything else? Like scales, like at some point, like starting to add in scales. But that's,
what's interesting is that like I had a period when I had this like, I'll tell this story later because it's kind of a funny story, but like a year or two ago, I just had this like explosion of returning to the guitar and like kind of learning some music theory, like just by ear. And
cool.
The result of that was me linking up with my friend who I just posted the jazz lesson with. And he kind of like gave me the like, he talked to me about it and was like, okay, we're going to work on a bunch of this stuff, but like, here's what all these scales are. And then later down the line, I like committed several of them to memory. So I feel like I have like 3 to 5 scale modes of the major scale that like I feel pretty good about from memory, but like never really did proper consistent like technical, especially not classical guitar, like these 2 fingers scale work. And I'm just like already like, oh, I just want to like anyway, so
nice. I think so you have some of the shapes, like especially for the left hand, like you've learned a lot.
Exactly.
You've learned some of the shapes, and so that's.
But the right hand is It's
there's a
lacking.
lot in it. Yeah. But I mean, that's great though. And if you can start seeing them on the page, like I linked you the RCM Guitar Technique book. Like at 0 or so, like these scales are super easy, but this could be like a way to start looking at sheet music by learning like the scales in this book. Like
okay, interesting.
Yeah, one thing I did want to offer, I guess we are. If you're okay on time, I'm okay on time.
Yeah, we can run a little long.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I won't hold you too long, but like
No worries, no worries.
one thing is speed bursts. So like now that we did practice for a moment, like at half tempo, so maybe here's like full tempo for me right now. So like try to like alternate back and forth between 2 notes per click and 4 notes per click. That's gonna help a lot, I'd say, because
With the metronome on?
yeah, with the metronome on.
Okay.
Could you try that for just a second? Like
Sure. 56.
Yeah, 56, and just the beginning maybe like. Yeah. Cool.
I'm already feeling it like working
Yeah.
the new stuff with the right hand that we talked about.
Yeah,
I'm, like,
yeah.
really trying to do this, and that helps because it's almost like I'm practicing doing it with the slow one, and then instantly go to the fast one, and I'm sort of like trying to like merge the two, kind of.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because at full tempo, it's too fast for you to like individually coordinate each of those motions. So you bake in the like deliberate coordination at half tempo, and then you like just keep baking it in as like muscle memory and alternating between the two.
It's kind of fun
Super
too.
helpful.
It's
it
like
really
a fun
is.
little puzzle.
Yeah, and it doesn't always have to be the same amount too. You could alternate more frequently. Like, dang it. It's kind of fun as hell. Like, I think it's fun. It like adds in rhythms and kind of like all sorts of things, like almost improvisatory in some ways. It's
Dude, this might be the way to get me to practice slow.
yeah, it helps. Like, it really is fun as heck, I think. Yeah, try adding in speed bursts like that into your practice. That's going to be like chef's kiss. Like, really improve this whole piece. Like, speed bursts are so much better, honestly, than just changing the metronome speed a bunch.
It's so fun.
It is, yeah. Especially if you like have a beep going and you're like locking in with it and like going back and forth, like.
That's cool. Okay, yeah, that's definitely going in.
Cool.
For sure.
Cool, man. Awesome. Well, any last minute questions or so?
Last questions. I mean, I'd love to if people are hanging out in chat still, it'd be fun to do a little Q&A. I'll think if I have any questions.
I see Heidi just dropped in. Heidi, Tigran, Backpack.
What's up?
Good to see you all.
Backpack, Tigran. Oh my gosh, all the homies in chat. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I do have a little question, which is, so I don't know. It's strange because it's still my first month of like really properly trying to figure out. It's like I feel like more and more often I end up in a position and I go, this feels good. Like, there's not a lot of tension. My shoulder doesn't start hurting, but still half the time I'm like, wait, what was I in this chair? Like How did I have my yoga blocks set up? And then I think the most common issue that I at least originally ran into was that this shoulder, my left shoulder, would start to hurt.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, that's not good.
I'm just like, I'm not exactly sure like where my left elbow should be, you know, or like
not like that. Yeah, you
right.
Definitely. Want to make sure elbow shouldn't be coming out. Like you want to let the elbow drop in to the body. I guess just kind of like hang, like force of gravity kind of thing.
Okay.
Over time, like shoulders is a place where people will like add tension, and you'll feel shoulders kind of creeping up. But the fingers, there's kind of a lot to like general technique and form. But like one thing I would say is, I think I noticed a habit that you have that some others that a lot of people have of like the thumb not always moving with the fingers. Like try to let the thumb move with the fingers around the neck. Like sometimes like especially like this has gotten a lot better. I saw it in the first video, I think that you were playing more like kind of like the thumb all the way at the end of the neck, and now it's more like moving up to kind of like underneath where the fingers are, but sometimes it can get kind of like stuck. So that's something to watch for, of like what should your hand look like and feel like the thumb should be light, like you shouldn't be like gripping the guitar with the thumb. Not saying that I saw that you were doing that.
No, it's something I definitely do, and I wonder if you're like intuiting something. My conclusion here is that not like really. Yes, of course it's the whole body, but also like what I'm doing with my left hand, I may feel that in my left shoulder, and if I'm like gripping really hard with my thumb or like stretching to make it work,
it could
in
be
a way that, right?
Since you noticed things happening in the left shoulder, that's a place to check. Like, are you gripping like the neck? Are you gripping with the thumb? It should really be kind of like ice hockey or something. Like the thumb should feel like, like ice hockey. Yeah, just kind of like.
I've never
moving.
heard that analogy, and it's definitely not how I hold the neck all the time. But okay, I'll work on that.
Cool, man.
Nice. Yeah,
there's so much to it, and the method book. I'll get you a PDF of it. The Duncan book. It has all sorts of images and descriptions of this kind of thing. There's a lot.
Dude,
it's a very technical
I'm so into
instrument.
it. I'm so excited. I'm telling you, like, the last month and a half has been the most consecutive guitar playing I have done ever. And it's in no small part because of Mujo and because of these awesome communities that are bubbling and playing guitar and making music. So I'm super grateful. And I love all different kinds of music, and I'm planning to do a whole bunch of different things. And like, classical guitar is definitely now in my sort of like, it's in there bucket list. Like, I'm gonna be doing this, on and off for a while, and I'm gonna ride this wave and keep doing it for as long as I can right now. So I appreciate it, and thank you for the knowledge. I guess I'll toss it back to you if there's anything in chat you want to touch base on, or if you want to offer any parting words regarding the lesson or just the vibes in general.
No, just this was super fun. I look forward to doing it again sometime. Like, this was super cool. I like the yoga block. It's actually a really good solution, I think. Like, it's putting your guitar at like roughly the right position. You do shift it though sometimes. Like the spot that you should aim for is kind of like top tuning peg, roughly eye level, like approximately eye level. So sometimes your guitar is like a little more tilted than others.
See, this is why, and I'm just like, I don't even know what my ideal position is. I'm a pretty big person too. Sometimes I wonder if my like long limbs and torso
maybe I don't know
going on, but
so I think it's a little low right now. If you could tilt it and try to, I'd say a little high, like split. Yeah, that looks perfect. I'd say, like, can you play there? Does it feel comfortable if you? Yeah.
Oh, it feels so much better.
Cool.
Dang, it feels a lot better to play.
Cool. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So try to use that as one of your guides, like tuning peg, eye level, and because the yoga block is pretty movable, like, so it's not always the most consistent thing.
But I can see how, like, an actual little thing that you can set, you can, like, put an adjustment to and go, this goes on the same spot every time. I know exactly where to go.
Nice. In theory, but then, there's still a lot of dimensions. Like, I thought I was going to get that by switching to the footstool, but now it's like, oh, I'm putting the guitar this much into the leg versus this much, and I don't know. Guitar there's a lot of continuity. Like, it's not so discrete. Yeah, it's not discrete like a piano where there's individual separate buttons. It's like the rotation of your hand, like every single, I don't know. I'm not doing a very good description of this right now.
No. Well, that's the point. Is that it's hard to describe, and like, I'm telling you, like, the first 7 days, like that, I learned Carcassi 7 in 7 days video. I was so like, I practiced it so much, and I was like, I'm gonna blow them all away, and this is gonna be the best thing ever. And I just like did not know what I was getting myself into. Here I am a month in, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. There's like, I need to be fully aware of all body parts and like no tension and like thinking specifically about every little micro movement. It's cool. It's amazing. I'm into it, and I'm like, damn, I'm about to have a few guitar passion hobbies for the next like 50 years. But anyway,
heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, this is fun as hell.
So fun.
Yeah, Josh Guitar just joined. Says you guys are incredible. We got a bunch of people here. Carcassi 7, more like Carcassi Heaven. I love that. I love that.
Carcassi Heaven, bro.
Yeah.
Is that our next tagline? Oh snap.
Carcassi Fever taking us to Carcassi Heaven. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude. Do you wanna do the encore, the honors, like play it one last time for everybody?
All right, yeah. We'll sign off.
Let's do it.
Now that we got my my form right.
And don't stress about like adding everything that we just talked about. Obviously, just play. Yeah, don't think about it. absolutely amazing, man. Like I'm blown away. Like this is a ton of really cool progress for 1 month. Like self-taught guitarist, awesome job. Yeah,
Well,
awesome job.
I'm being taught by the internet.
Of
you
course,
know?
but still, yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And each one of these performances like gets a little easier. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's a little more relaxed. I just love music. I love playing music. I really love connecting with people through music. Thank you for the knowledge and for the opportunity.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to do this again sometime soon.
Oh, yeah, for
that'd be
sure.
fun. And congratulations and all that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
thanks. I got a big month coming up.
Absolutely, yeah. Awesome, dude. Well, yeah, awesome job. And I guess
Thank you.
we'll figure it out. And
We will. Yeah, we'll be in talks. I'll see you in chat.
yeah, see you online.
Well,
see you online.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess I'm just gonna hang out and practice and do my normal practice thing.
Cool.
Well, actually, no. It's kind of late. Yeah, I should probably wrap it up. But yeah, thank you everybody. Thanks everybody in chat. This was an absolute blast. I think this was super fun.
Chat.
Would love to do more lessons with folks live. If anybody else wants to, pop up on camera and like stream a lesson, I think that this is pretty fun. So,
Chat,
thank
we made
you.
it on stream.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, okay. So, yeah, no meaningful questions. Backpack asks, how the fuck do you think about all your body parts and stay untense? It's just hard. Yeah, you just gotta keep always watching out for it. It's a lot. Yeah. But just reflexive. Just keep checking in, pausing, freezing, check your body. Do things like guided body scan meditations, like that helps, I'd say. But yeah, awesome. Happy to hear that you enjoyed it, Heidi, and that you learned a lot as well. Cool. All right, I'm gonna sign off. Thanks everybody for watching. This was an absolute pleasure. All right, cheers everyone. Bye. Hey, Alex is down for a live lesson. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. All right.